Right, hello, welcome to the London Open session server bullet for Tuesday, 25th of August 2026. And we are roughly 11 minutes ahead of the 3 a.m. in the morning New York time. And yeah, I've been already scanning through the markets a little bit. And I found this. Um, ES situation in here, which I still think it's likely to trade lower. It just has taken relative equal highs by liquidity going into the London Open session, and it has a nice little sell liquidity here, and more specifically it has a very nice sell liquidity down here. Beginning from this one through this one. That's like a sweet spot. Strong draw on the downside for the price. Can you go lower than that? Maybe, but that's like an easy bread and butter type of objective on the downside, I would say, for me. And that's kind of what I'm thinking for the daily range for today, for Tuesday. So we'll see how it will go. If it will deliver, how it will deliver, what will happen after all. But that sounds somewhat interesting to me. Yeah, we do have a slightly higher pool of equal highs there too. But yeah, I want to focus on this one here first, as we are entering the time element and trading into it. So we'll see. We have a suspension block, a bullish suspension block right there. I will not anchor it. I guess I could. It's a suspension block. But anchoring to this candle's open would be super bad either, but yeah, suspension block. That's the last inefficiency before running out the equal highs buy side. That might likely turn into an inversion for value gap, possibly. Yeah, 1 minute chart slightly spotty on the micros here. It looks actually slightly spotty. In fact, the ES mini looks cleaner than micros in here. Micros does look a little bit spotty, but it's not terrible, but yeah, it does look somewhat spotty on the 1 minute. 5 minute is fine. 5 minute is fine. But yeah, let me see the Nasdaq at the same time, what we are having here. So yeah, this I can take off. And this I can take off. So Nasdaq. We left sell liquidity in form of equal lows right above the discount rate that I was looking for the weekly range. So technically still bearish. We have nice two little pools of liquidity on the downside. We rallied all the way up, taking buy sell liquidity here, equal highs, and tapping the 730 high from Monday. And it's doing this in this very slow grind fashion into the consecutive encroachment of the BIS here, which, as we can see, we closed below it on this candle here, which makes me want to change the color to the inversion color. And now what I would like to see and or expect is to see sensitivity in the lower half and turn around to attack this the short-term low here and into this daily inefficiency. Down to consecutive encroachment is a reasonable objective, I would say. So now we are trading into this inversion as a premium array. We still have this very, very smooth buy sell liquidity slightly above us, so that's a little bit of a wild card, I would say. And yeah, we are about to start. Yeah, I mean, on ES there is this fair value gap here that we may want to poke into. It's this one. That's something to watch. There we go there or not. And yeah, I mean, I would love to taper the ES a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if it will give me much in terms of the tempering, because many times it's just very slow. All right, so let me add the inefficiency here on the 50-minute. And to the left of this inefficiency, we have a large long wick. So I want to grade that also. And that's like the line in the sand for now on the upside. These are the premium arrays, coupled with the buy sell liquidity that was taken. And reaching up into this and turning around would be in the realm of reasonable. Not being able to reach up into it even, that's very weak. That's very weak. Then but yeah, generally I'm not bullish. I'm not bullish for it, so I'm not interested in going long this session. Whatever it does, I'm not interested in going long. My focus is on lower prices only, and yeah, that's what I'm going to be trying to justify. 2-minute chart. 2-minute chart looks better than 1 minute here on. Yes, I think I'm gonna go with 2-minute. And I'll be checking from time to time the 1 minute, but yeah, this one looks kind of spotty though. All right, 3 a.m. just started and we stretched all the way up into this 50-minute bearish fair value gap. That's the first premium ray that I'm going to or willing to watch. Yeah, that's a nice run here for the good measure. All right. So that's definitely an interesting idea here. With taking the buy side equal highs, so I'm selling to the buy stops inside of the bearish fair value gap as a premium ray, allowing for as much as the consecutive encroachment of this week to be reached. And yeah, probably or preferably not violated on a closing basis with the stop loss one handle above this swing high there. Yeah, that might be a pretty good, pretty cool example to watch and study. So yeah, the theory behind it is that if I'm correct on my bias, that's lower and seeking potentially the sell liquidity here, we consolidated here, we have relative equal highs. Now we are taking those equal highs first. We are doing that going into the London open session. And we are trading into a premium array also. And it's Tuesday. So Tuesday, London open high of the day into distribution to London close low of the day or PM session low of the day would be like the ideal best case scenario, probably. But yeah, I'm not saying that it will happen, but there is quite a chance that it might happen, right? And that would be actually the target, the best case target that I would look for. And I could just take a partial here, a partial in the midpoint, and one here and one complete at the low, and that would look pretty stellar as a run. But that's a potential for the silver bullet hour to offer a day trade type of scenario where this isn't likely to deliver within 1 hour of trading, which is the silver bullet right now. But of a course or in a course of the entire daily range, so London session, New York session, AM, PM, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm trying to frame. High of the day, potentially in London, to low of the day, either AM or PM session, and yeah, that would be That would have been pretty interesting. Will that be the case? I don't know, right? So don't copy me. But as long as this is providing some resistance to the price, this fair value gap and this consecutive encroachment, that's the idea that I'm favoring, right? If this gives way and starts trading above it strongly and on a closing basis, then I'm either likely to get stopped out or take it manually by hand and just, regroup, sit a little bit on the sidelines and reposition myself, right? But yeah. But yeah, if I were to use the silver bullet model to scale it into a day trade type of position, but beginning it with the silver bullet model, that's kind of what I would look for, right? This is not an everyday type of scenario. For sure, this is not an everyday type of scenario. I mean, maybe it's everyday somewhere, but not in one market, right? You will not get that every day in one market. But when the stars can align themselves, then yeah, it kind of makes sense then, right? Or could make sense. Yeah, regardless. So if I rotate to the high of this fair value gap, and we pulled away off of that. So I like to see that initially. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I guess at this moment I could also prepare my orders accordingly, meaning that I would like to take one partial here at the low, previous day's low. Very reasonable, very logical area to take a partial. I would love to take one off here, so slightly ahead of the 50% of the range between the low and the actual target that I'm looking for. I would love to take one at the first of the two liquidity pools that I'm looking for as a target. And the last one, I would like to take off here, slightly below this level, I guess. So there is a little bit more to squeeze as a best case scenario, right? Because if it's going there, it should go to and through it. So yeah, that's kind of like how I would like to see this situation. And as for the silver bullet that attacks the daily range, that's like a supercharged silver bullet. That's how I would engage with it. And these type of things don't happen every day, so I'm not focused on those every day. But today I think there might be an opportunity that's reasonable and lucrative for that for that idea. So I'm going with it, right? And yeah, worst case, I will get stopped out. The risk is measured, the risk is not over leveraged, so it will not and me. But yeah. Um, but yeah. At the same time, we can like see how much of a potential risk to reward these type of setups can offer, right? Like one setup like this can offer you at least 1 to 4.4, 1 to 6, 1 to 7.5, and 1 to 8.5 best case scenario. 8.5, 1 to 8.5 best case scenario. That's a lot of. That's a very solid ratio, right? So it kind of makes up for these setups not being there every day, because if you can frame one and execute on it, you are getting like big chunk of profit that will like, you know, uh, sustain trading every day, but for 1 hour or something like that, right? Mm. And yep. So yeah, nonetheless, I mean, there is probably no way. I mean, I could maybe leave the stream going for as long as it delivers or stops me out. I will not be sitting in front of the chart for the whole day watching this. But yeah, just in case this would be working in my favor, I could maybe do it. But I also could maybe, you know, update the situation with a screenshot or something like that. But yeah, I really like the first touch into this fair value gap, because we trade into it, we trade to the high with the wick, that's fine. But the body closed, yeah, fairly below it, right? And the bodies are not even touching. So I like that little signature there. I like that. So yeah, this is the supercharged silver bullet for a day trade purpose. For a day trade purpose, it can be supercharged to a swing trade, like couple days. But yeah, I'm not prepared to do it here right now. And yeah, I would prefer to be content within one daily range anyway. But yeah, silver bullet is silver bullet. So yeah, I mean, also what I would like to see is a measure of displacement, a measure of speed, right? On the downside, because those elements would basically be confirming or making me more confident that I'm actually on side with the idea that it should act in my favor and stuff like that. So I mean, so far the reaction off of that for value gap is pretty nice. I like that. I like to see that. And yeah, we'll see, right? I have no power over that, over what it does at the moment. So it's all on the market side. Yeah, we'll see how it will go. So yeah, the idea definitely was there. Then it was followed up with the execution part, and now it needs to be followed with the management part, right? So I don't know if this will deliver until it delivers, technically, right? And yeah, it starts off of the good foot, the right foot. I like what it's doing initially here, as it's moving away from that value gap and stuff. But we are still theoretically so close to the entry, so close to the inception of the move, that it still needs to be like observed and managed, just in case it will start showing some unwillingness to provide. So yeah, obviously if you can reach the first partial, then the stop loss goes to break even, better than even, and then it's basically a free look at the other sales liquidity pools that are on the way potentially. Sure, Mr. Ban NQ. Ba NQ, yes, sorry for mispronouncing. Yeah, it might be, but I mean, after some time, it's, time as every other. So it can be tricky for sure, yeah. So yeah, I mean, within this type of day trades, there is not that much to talk about after explaining the idea and the execution, and now we are in the management phase of the trade, which takes quite some time, especially if we are managing it on the 50-minute or higher. Higher is even higher time frames require a lot more waiting, a lot more weathering things. But yeah, 50-minute is perfect for day trades. So yeah, as far as I recall, we are heading into that 5-minute suspension block, so we can drop the 5-minute and see it on our own eyes here, how price does inside of it. And yeah, I mean, generally or technically, what I want to see when it comes to this suspension block, I want to see it give way, right? I want to see it close in the lower half. I want to see it close below it, even. Like, I don't want to see it offer perfect discount sensitivity here in the upper half and then displays higher, because if it does that, then I'm probably wrong. Then I'm probably not as well positioned as I may suspect or anticipate. And yeah, obviously I mean, we'll see, but yeah, but yeah, the 50-minute is the king of the hierarchy here right now. So the 50-minute premium arrays being respected is the most important versus a 5-minute array. So yeah, it would be good and nice and even more favorable to see that 5-minute suspension block give way. But within this price structure, the 15-minute has its you know, hierarchy. So it's more important than the 5-minute. It's more significant, I should say, more significant than the 5-minute at the moment. So from the 15-minute, everything looks reasonably well, reasonably unchanged since it started to move a little bit lower. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I guess how I'm gonna do it. I will stay with this probably until the 4 a.m. and then I will either like mute myself and leave the stream going, the price ticking with this position open, and I mean, it will be documented whatever happened to it, or I will close the stream and just give you an update on the Twitter, I mean X, as it's closed, right? With the regard. I mean, you already know how it looks, what I'm looking for, so it's not changing at this moment that much, right? So it's either going to deliver or not. And yeah. That would be just an interesting variation of the silver bullet model that goes in line or tries to align itself with the whole entire daily range. And yeah. So we're in the suspension block here. So yeah, so far we are tapping into the lower half of the suspension block. Preferably we can, or we should see easy time losing ground below it. That's like ideally what I would like to see. But yeah, so far so good. All right, so we tapped into the lower half of the suspension block, but the price couldn't reach the low, and it's coming back higher a little bit. So yeah, if it will remain close in the upper half, that's obviously not the ideal scenario that I'm looking for, but I still would want to give it some more time to prove itself, right? That was a pretty much no body candle, like it's weak only, closed unchanged. A doji like this, not the most significant candle overall. So right now, that's also quite important. We just constituted a swing high, right? We have a lower candle high to the left, higher candle high in the middle, and the lower candle high to the right. This is a swing high after the buy side was taken into a premium array, respecting that rather nicely. So we would like to enter some expansion phase after a swing high is placed like this at a key area, meaning that the next candle or two, I would like to see them offer a little bit more of a range to the downside, right? Because I'm bearish, I want to see it expand to the downside. And that's kind of what I'm looking for as we go right now. And yeah, we'll see. I can check what Nasdaq is doing at the same time. Yeah, Nasdaq is somewhat consolidating. Yeah, Nasdaq looks some slightly sloppier in comparison to ES, but reasonably the same type of idea.